Here we go, Brown. Here we go. Yeah, this for my dogs from the east to the west side. You rockin' brown and orange with me, baby. Let's ride. Represent the land, let them know. Tell them, here we go, Brownies. Here we go. Yeah, here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Here We Go Brownie Show. Tonight, Ray Prisby is going to be joining us, and we have a special treat for all of you guys. As you know, this is the 60th anniversary year, 60 years when the Browns last won their championship in Cleveland in 1964. In a few moments from now, Walter Beach, who happened to actually get to play with the legend Jim Brown during that era, will be joining us in a few minutes. But Allie had to take care of a family emergency, so she's not going to join us tonight. But Ray's going to pinch hit, no pun intended. And, of course, Walter is going to be a great treat and an addition tonight that we didn't expect. And now we have him, so I think it's going to be great. How the heck you been? I feel like I just saw you a couple days ago. We got to go to the preseason game, see our boys in action for the first time in, a couple for the season.
Yeah, no, it was a great weekend. A lot of different conferences going on up in Cleveland, topped off by that game, and it was all in all, it was a good weekend.
So we got to wander around there. Obviously, Ray, what did you think of the boys? We didn't get to see. It was a pretty vanilla game, right? They're not going to show a lot. No starters were there, but
right.
Give me your thoughts on the game and what you saw out of the starters, but just give me some thoughts.
Well, obviously Green Bay was tuning up early because they played their starters a little bit. And I think because we didn't play many starters, that's just an indication of how well we finished the season last year. I just think that really the goal this year is to stay healthy. If we stay healthy, I think we can compete with any of them.
Yeah, I agree. The Browns, on your practice squad, somebody may nab him because now they got, the guy they were going to roll out there with their rookie this year isn't even playing. So that's a big problem. So,
well, one, I'm glad I don't have to make that decision. That's number one. And two, yeah, I just think I don't think they bring in those veterans and give them that money only to cut them at the end of training camp. I just think and this is only my opinion, I think JTR is if anybody is expendable, it's probably going to be him. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. So my thought is, what does that look like, right? Like, I don't know. It's going to be very interesting to see how that all plays out. I don't know what we're looking at as far as that situation overall, and whatever happens. So it is what it is.
Here's the thing, though. I think at some point, and I think we're getting to that point, because of all the injuries and because they're adding extra games, and you can believe it's going to be 20 games, if not in the very near future. They're going to have to extend the rosters. They're going to have to because you see what happened last year with all the injuries, and with them adding more games, it's just going to be more injuries. So I can see an expanded roster somewhere over the horizon.
So let's talk about this. Obviously, JOK, this was some big news that came out today.
Yep.
JOK got a nice big new contract. Not big, but I mean, extended him. We know he is that guy that can do anything behind the line of scrimmage. How do you feel about that pickup of that extension and that guaranteed money?
Was that 3 or 5 years? I think I read it 3 years. Yeah. Hey, he's fast, and what I like most about him, he can cover tight ends. He can even cover wide receivers. I mean, he's almost like a chess piece. You could just move him around the board. You can move him in the slot. You can put him back at safety. I love it.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about some of our sponsors. Hartville Marketplace. Ray, we have spent a lot of time down there at that Hartville Marketplace.
Oh yeah,
great place to do some shopping. Go around and check out their outdoor flea market. But you know what? Also, the guys at Primetime Sports bring a lot of those guys in, be it football, be it baseball, They bring a bunch of guys in, and they do all these kind of fun things down there at the Hartville Marketplace. So, guys, go check them out on the weekend. Enjoy them. Have some fun down there. Like I said, a lot of the Browns players go down there and do signings. There's some Guardians players that are going to be coming down there in the next couple of weeks. But, yeah, if you want to get out of town and go down to the Hartville Marketplace just for a weekend to get away, it's always a fun place to go. So, Ray, all the fighters showed up. You could probably hear him. All the fighters showed up. So, you know what? Let's bring on Walter. This would be a great time to bring on Walter. And this interview is brought to you by our friends over at True Fan Travel. Guys, if you are looking to get to Las Vegas, go to truefantravel.com. Go check out their packages. I believe they've already sold out that flight, that charter flight to Las Vegas. They still have a la carte packages if you just want to do the tailgate or if you want to do other things down there to the True Fan Travel. But I just saw, Ray, I don't know if you saw this, New Orleans, they just put together another charter flight to New Orleans. So if you can't make it to Vegas and you want to go out to New Orleans and enjoy the trip with our great friend Kevin Mack, he'll be hosting that one. Josh Cribbs will be hosting the one in Vegas. But guys, go out to True Fan Travel, get your packages. It's all inclusive or a la carte. No matter how you want to do it, they're there, and they are the preferred and official away travel sponsor of the Cleveland Browns. And with that, let's bring Walter Beach onto the show. Walter, how you doing, sir?
Yeah, well, good afternoon. And I appreciate the opportunity to share a few moments, a few thoughts with you.
Well, Walter, it is an honor to have you on. As we all know, and you probably didn't think about this back in 1964 when you played, that we are still trying to covet that first Super Bowl appearance or that first Super Bowl win for the Cleveland Browns. But you got to play in an era with a great like Jim Brown that we all honor and cherish. God rest his soul. We lost him, as you know, last year too soon. But first and foremost, you know, this is the 60th anniversary of those Cleveland Browns winning that 64 championship, Walter. So, you know, share, I guess my first, for the viewers that have never met you, right? So this is the first time that people are maybe seeing you. Share with some of our viewers, for instance, I guess, what was your welcome to the NFL moment in the National Football League? And then second, what was your most prized moment with the Cleveland Browns?
Welcome to the moment. For me was a unique experience predicated upon the fact that I believed at that particular time, if you could play football, they would allow you to play. Now, this seems strange, but I want to deal with some of the reality. My welcome to the moment was the fact that Jim Brown, let me share the experience. I was placed on waivers, and I went back to my room and was packing. And we were doing 2 a day, and Jim came by the room, and he said, Doc, he said, let's go to practice. I said, Jim, they just placed me on waivers. He said, what? I said, yeah, I just got my notice to walk. They placed me on waivers. He said, oh, come on, man, quit joking. And my response was, and for those who got delicate ears, my response was, I'm packing my shit. He said, what? So I'm packing my bags to leave. He said, wait here. He said, I'll be back. So he left and he came back in about 45 minutes. He said, Doc, let's go to practice. I said, Jim, they placed me on waivers. I'm no longer on the team. And you have to know Jim. So Jim grabbed me by my arms with them big hands and led me down to the practice field. And I get down to the practice field. This is devastating. I get down to the practice field and I can see that they're putting my shoulder pads, my uniform back into my locker.
Oh,
They have your name plates up over the locker. So they put my stuff back into the thing. So I get dressed, put on my uniform. We go out, we do our calisthenics. And we're doing our calisthenics, break up into calisthenics, into the units, offense, defense, positions. So I'm with the defensive back. And after we finished doing exercise, he said, Blanton Collier says, give me my starting offensive team. And they call out the players. Of course, Jim Brown was the first one they called, Jim, and all of the offense. Then he said, give me my defensive team. And they call off everybody. And then when they get to the defensive back, they said, Bernie Parrish. So Bernie jogs out on the field. Ross Fickner jogs out on the field. He said, Larry Benz. And Larry jogs out on the field. And you got to understand this. An hour ago, I would have been placed on waivers. Then he said, Walter Beach. Well, that's me. So I go part of the starting defensive cornerback. It was miserable, man, because that's all that happened. Finished practicing, come back in, and I said to Jim, I said, what happened, man? He said, man, I just talked to him. I said, but what did you say? He said, now you got to understand. He said, I know the deal. I know they wanted to let you go, but I didn't talk to him about that. He said, what I did was said, do you want to have a championship team? Lanton, Howard Brinker, Modell, and all of them said, yeah. Jim said, well, if you want to have a championship team, you can't send the best players home.
wow.
And they said, well, yeah, we know. But we were going to go with someone else instead of Beach. And Jim said, but if Beach is the best player, why would you send him home? And he said, but if that's what you want to do, this is Jim talking now. He said, if this is what you want to do, send him home. He said, but send me home too. He said, if you don't want to win the championship and you want the best player, ain't no sense me wasting my time.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, and Walter, I mean, when you're the best, you're the best. And like you said, it gives me goosebumps to even think about that. But clearly, Jim Brown definitely carried a lot of clout in that organization and in that locker room to be able to go, look, I have the foresight, like you said, before the season even started, to say, no, if you want to win a championship, these is the core guys you got to have to go out and win this championship. And lo and behold, Jim Brown, like he was right on a lot of things, manifested that into fruition, and the Browns became the 64 NFL champions.
Yeah, I always tell that story just to talk about the troubled times. These are troubled times for Black athletes. I mean, real troubled times.
Right.
I intercepted a pass against the Detroit Lions, and they held me up on their shoulders, and everybody was happy, and of course I was happy. But after I got off that football field, I couldn't go on the other side of town in Cleveland, not as a Black man.
Right.
So,
yeah.
So those were the struggles or responsibilities that not only do we have to play football, we had to be ambassadors to playing football. I don't know. Yeah.
And you're right. And Jim Brown was that man that was able to walk with Martin Luther, and all those greats and make those changes. And I've said this about Jim Brown, and you probably agree with this, Walter. He did just as much, if not more, off the field for athletes, troubled youths, to make a difference and a change in the way we go about our daily lives during that struggle and things. I mean, I think he was an ambassador even more beyond his football years
Yeah, of course.
He did.
He created that whole program of Mayor I Can that addressed and took care of the Crips and the Bloods and brought them together in a unification, getting them to understand there's nothing positive about shooting and killing each other. So it's very important. He's very important. So I can't have a discussion about football and professional sports without honoring Jim.
Right.
Go ahead, Ray.
I got a question for you, Mr. Beach. So after your high school career, your path to the NFL took a different turn than a lot of players back then. And what I'm talking about is from high school, you went straight to the Air Force, where you served 4 years, 3 of them being in Germany. So first and foremost, I want to thank you for your service, because I served in the Air Force with you, not just the same time with you. But tell us a little bit about, because I heard a little bit about what you did while you were in the Air Force. But tell the audience, because I think it's a very interesting story.
Yeah, well, in the United States Air Force, I went to the Air Force because I was drafted. And my father and my uncle said, look, if you drafted, they'll take you into the military, into the Army, and you don't know what your situation will be. He said, but if you volunteer, then you can volunteer for us. So I volunteered for the United States Air Force. Well, when you go to the United States Air Force, they give you a battery of tests. So I was fairly academically secure intellectually, so I took the battery of tests. And after I took the battery of tests, I was put into a particular top secret clearance unit, cryptology. So I was a cryptographic operator. I enciphered and deciphered top secret messages. So
basically, I had like a code breaker.
Right. I had that. Yeah. So I had the clearance of when the government got messages, I could decipher them and encipher and decipher. So that was my job in the Air Force. So then I played 4 years of football in the Air Force. So I was a U-Safe champion in Germany. So
I was going to ask you that question, because I was wondering, because you took the 4 years off, how did you stay in shape, in football shape? But now that I know you play. I played 4 years of football in the Army, and I was placed on what they call temporary duty. So my duty was a cryptographic operator, but my other duty was I was a member of the football team in Europe. So that was the other aspect of it. And coming out of that, I had several offers. I offered the University of Michigan, Michigan State, and Central Michigan to go to college and play football, because the coaches had seen me play and play football, and they recruited me, and I went to Central Michigan as opposed to the University of Michigan or Michigan State. The reason that happened, the 3 coaches came to my house to interview me with my mother and father. So I had an interview with the University of Michigan, an interview with Michigan State, and an interview with Central Michigan. So when the interview was over, my father said, "What are you going to do?" I said, "Well, I really don't know." And my mother said, "I think you should go to Central Michigan University." This is a very interesting story. So I said, "Well, why, Ma?" She said, "Because Mr. Bill Kelly is a good man. Mr. Bill Kelly is a good man." So I went to Central Michigan University because of my mother's recommendation. But when we played football at Central Michigan, I was the only black guy on the team. So every time I touched the ball or ran down the sidelines, they called me a nigger. And I never had to
deal with that because my teammates, when they attacked me verbally, called me a nigger, my team would fight for me. So that was my understanding of that. So for my slick way, because I grew up in Pontiac, I'm slick. Every time I run a touchdown, I would say, this nigger's bad, ain't he? As I run a touchdown, I said, yeah, y'all call me a nigger, but I'm still running these touchdowns. So I said, so this nigger's bad. So we go into towns all through the Midwest to the universities. We get to a restaurant, football team go in. When I get ready to go in, I go in and they go tell Coach Kelly. They said, well, you know, he can't eat here. Coach Kelly said, what you mean? He said, well, he can't eat in this restaurant. So Coach Kelly said, all right, take the whole football team. Said, if he can't eat here, none of us will eat here. So the bus would leave. Same thing for hotels and motels. We go to a motel or hotel, he can't sleep here. What you mean he can't sleep here? Well, we don't allow colored people to sleep here. You know what Bill Kelly do? Said, if he can't sleep here, none of us sleep here. So the whole Central Michigan football bus team sleep on the bus.
Wow.
Wow.
Well, that's what my mother was talking about. Bill Kelly's a good man.
Well, Walter, you bring up a good point. Many athletes in your era talk about where the coach would have to defend the entire team because of that, right? If you're not going to let us stay here, if you're not going to let us eat here, we're going to leave and we're not going to tolerate this. Like you said, you had to stand up in society to make a change, and God bless you for doing that. So I have a question.
Bill Kelly.
Yeah. Walter, I have a question for you. Do you have your 64 NFL championship ring still to this day?
Yes, I do.
Can you show it off to the audience for all these Browns fans? Your 64, because I think it's one of the coolest things that 64. The team was so special, but it'd be kind of cool to show the audience your ring.
Yeah, my wife's gonna go get it for me.
Oh, okay.
So Walter, they gave out rings and they gave out these pennants. So this, I got this in an auction. This belonged to Frank Ryan.
Oh yeah, Frank. Frank was a noble gentleman. I'll say that.
Yeah, he was. I met him many times.
Great deal of respect for Frank.
So, Walter, while your wonderful wife is getting the ring, obviously you live in this area. You still love the Browns. You still cheer for them. You still watch them on television. What do you think of the squad we have right now?
Sir, I hate that. It's what a swan is, or it's in that top drawer. And I'm gonna have to apologize for this, okay? I'm not of a viewer. I don't watch television that much, football.
Okay.
I mean, I played it, I enjoyed it, but I don't watch football games or football teams. So I couldn't comment on any present day football.
Is there we've had some legends on this program. Who's name somebody that you still keep in contact with from the 64 team? Like, you're kind of a brotherhood, like you said, you stick together for life. Who's someone that you still speak with and talk to and maybe share a moment you had recently?
Yeah, Clifton McNeil, Walt Roberts, John Wooten, Sidney Williams.
Wow.
Dave Ramey. The rest of them, I don't really interact with them that often. I know Charlie Scales I did before he passed. And I know John Brown is presently got health issues.
Well, I appreciate you coming on. Was she able to find the ring? Was she able to?
I don't know. How did I show you this ring?
You can just hold it up like this if you want, like that. Oh, there! Look at that. There it is.
Let me take this
1960. Ring. Yeah, if you can just put it close to the camera up there, probably people will see it. Like this. There you go. There it is.
Yeah, I'm dropping rings and things. Oh, here's the camera up there. All right.
Look at that, guys. Hey, how cool is that? The 1964 NFL championship ring, the last time the Cleveland Browns had a championship in this city. Walter,
Got my name on it, Walter Beach.
I love it. I can see it. Yeah, there it is. Walter, this was a pleasure, by the way. This was an honor and a privilege to have you on the show tonight. Ray, thanks for giving Walter a call.
It was a pleasure. It was a pleasure and opportunity to share some discussion with Ray. Ray and I talk often. Ray needs you to see this.
Oh, yeah. I got one of those.
Wow.
I got one of those.
Yeah, well, that's like he's my favorite man, you know.
Well, you know, I can't disagree with you. I'm wearing the Jim Brown jersey tonight. So
okay.
Well, Walter, we'll get you out of here. Again, thank you for your service in the military. God bless you for that. And thanks for coming on and sharing with Brown fans out there that don't normally get that opportunity to share that with you, Walter. So God bless you, and thank you for coming on tonight.
Okay, thank you, and I appreciate it.
Hey, thank you, Mr. Walter, and thank you, Miss Gail.
You're welcome.
Okay, all right. Take care, Ray. Y'all take care. Love you now. Peace and love.
Bye-bye. Wow, Ray, there were some amazing things that came out of that interview. I got to tell you, sharing his experience, what it was going to be like. We're about ready to get Chase over here when he's done. Hey, Chase, you ready to come on over? So Chase is going to join us, guys. There's a big fight happening here soon in Cleveland. That's right. This Saturday, it is going to be Caged Thunder is going to be down here at the pavilion down here in Cleveland. So I'm going to bring on Chase here. Chase, for all of our viewers out there that love MMA, have been in Cleveland, you know, this is the first event since 2019, you know, to be in Cleveland, a big bout. You're in front of the hometown. This is kind of fun, right? It's going to be exciting. This is Ray, by the way.
How you doing, Ray?
But tell us, you know, I know you've been prepping for this fight. I know you've been getting excited for this fight. Tell us about your preparation, what you've been going through to actually get on the bout, obviously, and what are you looking most forward to this fight? And more importantly, why should people come out? You know, why should they come out and support this fight and get behind you and all the other people that are on the docket?
Yeah, I mean, there's the Jacobs Pavilion's an absolute legendary venue, especially with Stipe Miocic has fought there. Most of my teammates have fought there. Legendary Forrest Pets, Matt Brown, Cody Garbrandt, Alexa Chamor. Everybody that fought in the Strong Style family has fought there. John Hawk as well. Just legendary names, and you know, I've been always visualizing that I always wanted to fight there, even when I first came to Cleveland. I've been training my rear end off for a long time, since even when back in 2021, I was like, I will fight here one day, and it became a reality now. And we worked super hard. You know, I've been training with most of probably the best talent in Ohio in my gym. I have a lot of confidence in, you know, my team, my staff, my coaches, and my teammates. And we've been prepping this for months. And fortunately, we couldn't fight back in June, and now I'm here to redeem myself. And, you know, being able to step up and fight in my backyard and show everybody in Cleveland that what the Archangel's all about.
I love it. Well, you know, we met several months ago, and you were like, I saw all these people just kind of surrounding you.
Yeah.
And then it was funny. I went down to, I'm thinking of the bar down there in the flats, Dante's,
yeah.
And I'm like, all these people are here just to hang out with you. You weren't even in a fight.
Right.
And I'm like, man, he has got a following. And I thought that was so cool that the city of Cleveland has surrounded themselves, adopted you, kind of like me, right?
Yeah.
Kind of adopted me in a lot of ways. But they've adopted you. You've become that person that they cheer for. But you know, this city's known for some other fighters that have come up through the ranks through other, you know, be it UFC and some other things. But and I know that's your goal someday. Yeah. But it's interesting that this city really gets behind the MMA and their fighters and that stuff. So tell us a little bit, you know, what people should expect when they come on Saturday to come watch the fight down there. You know, what are they going to see, I guess?
I mean, it's going to be absolutely a spectacular show. We have an absolute stacked card, especially in the professional side. Rel Hodge, he's a guy from Aries Combat, absolute legend in the game in Ohio. my teammate Walt Scott Sivane.
He's out there in the audience.
He's out there in the audience right now.
Yeah.
And Ben Williford as well. He is also one of our teammates. Also a Cleveland State wrestling alumni, such as myself.
Right.
It's pretty awesome to have this experience in Cleveland. Cleveland is a big family, in my opinion, and I really think that with this opportunity, it's a once in a lifetime opportunity for me, and I'm going to absolutely capitalize on it. What you're expecting Saturday is going to be absolute obliteration. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to break this guy's teeth in because this one's personal to me. But I'm excited. I'm excited to do it in front of the city because unfortunately I've had the Archangel Army travel everywhere. They've traveled down to Canton Civic Center.
Yes.
They've traveled down to Mansfield, hour-and-a-half commute.
Youngstown? They go to Youngstown?
I didn't go to Youngstown.
It's a race from Youngstown.
Okay.
There we go. Come on, Chase.
Guys that wrestled there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got a couple buddies that live out there that wrestle.
Awesome.
I mean,
That's
fight,
awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I the last fight that was close somewhat here was Northfield, and we had an absolutely tremendous turnout. We had a couple grounds players come to that fight. Jerome Ford, one of a very good friend of mine. He's awesome kind of guy, man. He supports tremendously throughout my training. When I help him train a lot at Strong Style, he comes in, get a little boxing, and also James Brochet as well. Just a good support all around the city. That's nothing better than having a city behind your back, on you, and being able to go out there and perform at the highest level. Like at this setting, it's the Cleveland Coliseum, so it's the Jacobs Pavilion, Nautica. Like it's a legendary place, and I can't wait to put this guy through the canvas and hear the roar of the crowd. So.
Well, you're keeping good company, and Ray would tell you this. The Browns are known for their running backs, so the fact that you're hanging out with running backs, you're hanging out with the right guys. Because
absolutely.
This is like, I'm obviously wearing Jim Brown's jersey tonight, the best running back of all time.
Absolutely.
But these guys, we love our running backs, and I got to tell you, Cleveland has been very fortunate over the history of the football team to have some very great running backs go through this organization. That's one thing that this organization has gotten right, no matter who the owner was, no matter what decade it was. Ray can attest that this team has had great running backs from the day 1946 to today with Josh.
Marion Motley started it off, and he's a Hall of Famer.
Yep.
Marion Motley started it off.
Well, thanks for coming on. Why don't you go get your colleague over there?
Walt,
come on over, Walt.
Your time, buddy. Let's go.
So yeah, that was Chase the Archangel was on there. He's going to be on the fight on the docket this Saturday. Walt's going to come over here and join us, one of the other fighters, and talk about his experience and what he's expected to do this Saturday. Walt, it's a pleasure, brother.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
How you doing?
This is Ray. So this is the Here We Go Brownie show, obviously. You're going to be fighting down at Jacobs Pavilion this Saturday. Nice ruckus crowd. Tell us what you're excited about for this fight. We just heard from Chase. He's been training. I mean, I watch you guys, what you have to go through, what diets you have to eat, like all these crazy things you have to do to get it the right way in.
Yeah.
To the people that, a lot of people are very familiar with MMA fighting, and it's very popular in America now. But tell us, from your, obviously we got Chase's experience. Tell us what why you got into it, what got you into MMA, what people are going to see from you this Saturday, and what you're expecting out of your fight, and just tell us what you're looking most excited about.
Well, first of all, I want to say thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
It's a pleasure, you guys. Got love for the sport of MMA. It's something that me and my grandfather just used to watch. And we graduated from WWE wrestling to MMA, and it was just an easy, swift transition. But honestly, my older cousin, I'm always give credit to him, Emmanuel Kanga. He's the one that got me into MMA, and I was just, kind of just being more so of a knucklehead, and he brought me to the gym one day. He beat me up for like a week, and I just kept coming back. It was just.
You were determined, right?
Yeah. I
one of these times I'm
not back.
One of these times I'm going to get my lick back and not get beat up.
Exactly. And Emmanuel was an amateur fighter for NAAFS. the first MMA event that I actually went to was at Jacobs Pavilion, and he fought there. I think it was back in like 2011 or something like that. You know,
Okay.
so he was never able to go pro. So I'm feeling like I'm continuing, you know, our legacy, like in our family.
Sure.
You know,
Yeah. You want to keep that torch going.
Yeah. So I was able to go pro. This is going to be my second pro fight. And it's just kind of time for us just to kind of make a statement. You know,
Nice.
I'm fighting the same guy that I fought for the amateur title for. And he's up for a rematch. He's a game fighter, tough guy, durable guy. I got a lot of respect for him because we've had a lot of opponents pull out. So he's one guy that, you know, say, hey, I'll step up and I'll take this fight, you know, and he's determined, you know. So
you're gonna have a hell of a match, it sounds like.
Yeah, because we know each other. We're familiar with each other already. Right. We fought for a belt, you know, and obviously it went my way, and I'm gonna show him this time, you know, why it went my way the first time, you know. And that's what you guys can expect. Explosiveness. I got a high fight IQ. I'm there to use that. You know, my conditioning, my training. I'm going hard with Chase. You know, he's one of our best wrestlers in the gym. You know, he's got crackhead energy. You know,
I was gonna say he definitely is high energy. And like he is very. I agree. Like he keeps it going.
Usually, when I come in the gym, people know that I'm here. You'll notice if Chase is here. You just know. Like,
the whole energy level comes down.
Yeah. There's nobody screaming like a bird somewhere, you know. So yeah, I've got partners like Chase. You know, I got Alexa Kamor, I got AJ Dobson, you know, I got John, Jesse Murray. I got a lot of tough teammates, you know, to help emulate whatever style that I got coming my way. So I'm ready for whoever and whatever, anytime, any place, whenever they want to do it.
So question for you. You brought up WWE. That was kind of what you kind of started watching.
Yeah.
I got the opportunity. My friend came from out of town. He loves WWE so much. Did you go to SummerSlam at the stadium? Did you go over to?
I missed it.
Yeah, let me tell you, it was crazy.
For real?
They had 58,000. They broke an attendance record for SummerSlam here in Cleveland.
I bet, man.
So I got to tell you, those people. I mean, the fans are, you know, very much like MMA fans. They're very, you know, I mean, they get into it. Yeah. But I got to tell you, like, you know, here comes, you know, Logan out there, and here comes MGK and all the local. Like they have those guys come out and do all.
Wow!
But
so
I mean,
the city actually came out and showed a lot of support.
Yeah, like literally came out. But I mean, it is. I see why people get into that, and you know, it just kind of for me solidified kind of that wrestling MMA space.
Yeah,
is very popular in the Midwest.
For sure.
The Midwest, it is very popular. It gets a lot of recognition here, and people get behind the fighters, no matter if it's WWE, MMA.
Yeah,
they come and they show up and they support and they ball out for them.
We like violence, man. You know, we love the Browns. No matter what, you know, their season record is, like, we don't care. We're out to support. We're gonna show some love. You know, everybody's always getting behind Stipe. You know, John Jones and Stipe gonna run it back in November. You know, so the city, the Midwest period, just like violence, man. You know, and I'm here to give it. So
Chase, you know, Chase was name dropping, you know, some of these Browns players. Is there any favorite guys you have on the team or anybody you have interactions with any of the Browns players?
Yeah, so I'm definitely messing with Myles Garrett. You know, the first time when I met Myles Garrett, it's so funny because Alexa was there. I'm not the biggest like football fan.
Junkie, right?
Yeah. So I really don't know these guys when I see them.
You don't dope out on like somebody else.
Yeah, but I don't even know them when I see them.
Right.
I don't recognize them.
So they're just another guy to you.
Yeah. So
right.
when
I mean, he's a freak of an athlete.
No. I'm about to say not no normal person.
Right, but you're like, okay, what does that guy do based on looking at him?
Yeah. Right, so when I see Myles Garrett, he's there talking to Stipe. I'm like, okay, this must be like a super heavyweight from like 1FC. You know, and so when I ask him, he just starts laughing at me.
He's like, "Oh, that's fun."
Yeah, because I don't know who he is.
Right.
You know?
He's like, "This guy has no clue who I am." Right now.
And then so I'm like, so I asked him how old he is. At that time, I believe we were the same age. He told me, you know, he was 23, I was 23.
Okay.
And I'm 28. I'm
so 20. A couple years in the league.
Yeah. So and I'm like, damn, man, you big as hell for a 23-year-old. And this guy tells me that I'm big as hell for a 23. I'm like, bro, Watch out, bro. You pulling tail.
And then he just becomes the defensive player of the year in the future, and like multiple year Pro Bowler, and
Stacking shit.
God willing, he's going to be a first ballot Hall of Fame.
Yes. Him and my other African brother, he always comes in with the African garments.
Oh, JOK?
Yes.
Yeah. So we talked. We talked about him. I don't know if you saw today. He made news on the Browns.
He got his extension.
He got a 3-year extension today.
My guy.
And I got to tell you, he is the best damn dressed guy on the Browns.
Yes, he is.
I mean, he comes in
my guy. He always comes through showing support, man.
Yeah, he's a good
putting
dude.
on for the West Coast, so he needs to continue. And we need to get him in the gym, man.
Hey, let's do it.
Yeah, if you're watching this, my boy, come on, man. Let's get in that gym.
Hey, so here's something funny. So they all do like a golf outing, and like the Browns throw little things out there. You know what he can actually do?
Well,
he can carry a tune and he can sing.
Oh, man. See,
like I think he would kill it. Like at a karaoke contest, I think he'd win it because he was sitting there. They were all singing, and then he just went into verse. I'm like, holy cow, JOK can sing.
These football athletes can do everything. They can run with Olympic athletes. They can lift weights with power lifters, and now they can freaking sing. What can't they do, bro?
Well,
keep them away from us.
Bro. No. They got one thing left to do. Just win a Super Bowl.
Oh,
just one more thing. They just got to win a Super Bowl.
Come on, man. Come on, man. They will. Hell yeah.
Go ahead, Ray. You got any questions?
No. I'm good. But hey, my brothers. All jokes aside, Hollywood is calling. You got enough. After your career, Hollywood is calling.
Oh shit! All right, man. Shit. I'm here to pick up, man. Whenever they ready, anytime.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, hey, I appreciate it. We're going to be for about 15 more minutes on the show, but thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate you guys. Take it easy.
Yeah, and I'll see you Saturday.
Yes, you will.
Ray, that was a lot of fun. Having the guys. By the way, there's a good crew here of other fighters and folks. But let's talk about some of our sponsors since that ran a little long. Guys, if you don't have Teresa's Pizza tonight, you got to go get some Teresa's Pizza. Let me tell you about it. Been in Cleveland since 1969. They have lunch specials, catering specials if you have that business that you want to. By the way, you don't stay in business since 1969 unless you're making some awfully great pizza. Check them out in University Heights and Mayfield Heights. That's Teresa's Pizza in University Heights and Mayfield Heights. Great people. We'll be giving away some $50 gift cards to those guys here soon, so you can go enjoy some pizza for those Saturday college football games or those Sunday football games coming up. So Ray, let's talk a little bit the Browns coming in this weekend. They got the Vikings. Obviously, we saw their starting quarterback went down. Obviously, Stefanski has mentioned that none of the starters will play for this week. Thoughts on this game? I don't want to say it's a yawner, but a lot of players aren't going to be playing in this game. But as we talked about this, and we've had Stump on the show, Coach Stump Mitchell, he talks about this at length. That as a coach, those games are really important because you really are tweaking your roster at that point and kind of going through a dress rehearsal, who's going to stay on the team, right? So you do want, if you're not a starter, you definitely want to play out in these games and be your best.
Right. Well, and this is just from my take. It seems like probably like the last 5 or 6 years, it's almost like they play vanilla all preseason, and then they use the first couple games as their actual preseason because those games count too. And I get it because injuries. So why play your players in the meaningless games? But like Coach Stump said, you're supposed to be fine tuning the offense and the defense with those games. But I just think they just been using the regular season for the fine tuning because the seasons are so long now.
Yeah. And by the way, guys, you're probably wondering why we're here and what we're doing. That's right. 5 Iron Golf is where we're at tonight. We're doing the show live here from 5 Iron Golf. And guys, by the way, anytime, that's tonight or anytime, use the code Brownie40. That's right. Code Brownie40 to get 40% off your golf simulation here or whatever you want to do in the simulators. It's not off 40% off your monthly plan, but anytime you want to come in here and hit the balls for an hour or two, you get 40% off. And by the way, in this economy, that's a great deal, almost half off. So that is 5 Iron Golf right here in downtown Cleveland. That is 5 Iron Golf. That's where we're at tonight, and that's where we're doing the show live from. Ray, let's get into let's get into the season. Obviously, we got some players that are banged up. We got some things, but I do want to talk about this. It is kind of the elephant in the room. Mike Hall. We all know what happened with him, with his situation. He was back at camp today. I think there were some people that were a little surprised. Our second round draft pick out of Ohio State was back there today. Obviously, we know what happened. He got arrested, he got released, and all that. But he is back at practice. So we really don't know. I know the NFL is looking into the conduct policy. They're going to do their thing like the NFL does. But I guess, Ray, are you surprised that he's back out there? And he's not been cut from the team? Is there stuff that we just, I would say there's more to the story, more comes out as it goes on. I mean, what's your thoughts on this? Because at first blush, it looked like this is really bad. He's not coming back to the team. He's probably being cut, but he was out there at practice today. So I just would like to get your 2 cents on this.
Well, I think, especially with these, type situations, if there's not a video, I think they kind of innocent until proven guilty type thing. And I don't think there's a video. So, I think that's how it should be. I mean, we don't know the particulars. And I'm glad the NFL is doing their due diligence in investigating it. So trust me, I give them 7 to 10 days. We'll know if he's going to be extended.
Yeah, I agree. They'll do their due diligence. They'll figure out what they need to do and stuff like that. But and maybe that is the best thing for him is to be back out there and practicing and
be around his team and be around his teammates.
Say that again.
I said, and be around his teammates, his family.
Right. And people that are, going to lift him up, as one might say, and keeping him in a positive spot. Ray, if you don't have this in your kitchen, Ray, if you don't have this in your refrigerator, if you don't have this by your barbecue,
I got the
you're doing
cake.
something wrong. This is Cleveland's iconic stadium mustard, served for decades, not only at Cleveland Municipal Stadium and now at Cleveland Browns Stadium, but this has been a staple for Browns fans and all fans alike. If you don't have stadium mustard, get it in your house, give it to your friends. We'll be doing some giveaways soon for stadium mustard as well. But go to stadiummustard.com. No matter where you live in the country, you can get it. Go to stadiummustard.com. They'll get you your stadium mustard, different sizes and all that. But it's a great company. We love working with them, and we do a lot of fun giveaways. And we did some fun giveaways this weekend. Ray, let's get back to this preseason game a little bit. Anything particular that you think we're all going to watch it. We're all going to watch it because we're Browns fans. We're rabid Browns fans. Is there anything you're looking for specifically in this game? Obviously, the starters won't be there, but, a lot of these guys that are moving up, they make the team. We know that, right? Is there anything you're looking for in particular from that coming up?
Yeah, well, when they go vanilla and they rest the starters, I look for the bubble guys. And my bubble guy right now is one of your people. Well, and when I say one of your people, he's from, is it BYU? The big 6'2", 235 running back. Hey, I'm liking that guy. And we have a crowded running back room already. So is he on the bubble? I don't know. After that touchdown run last Saturday, I don't know. But he's my training camp favorite.
It's funny you mentioned that because when we had Coach Stump Mitchell on, he actually brought that up. He brought up the whole. That was one of the things he actually brought up was, that running back room, and I asked him specifically about the BYU running back, and he said, yeah, he's good, he's fast, he's strong, and he think he could make a difference on this team. So I think it's interesting that you bring that up because I do think there is an opportunity for some of these guys, especially with Nick Chubb not coming back, right?
Right.
Possibly right away. Because some
Right,
of
and
these
then-
guys.
Go ahead. No, I was just gonna say, and then the guy that we picked up from Chicago, the free agent, he's nicked up and banged up. So yeah, we're gonna need everybody in that running back room.
So yeah, Ray, tell me, like, as you watch this game coming up, is there anybody specifically that you're looking forward to, or anybody like? I mean, obviously you talked about your bubble player, but is there anybody specifically that you're looking forward to make a leap this season? I guess would be a better question. You know,
Oh, absolutely. And here's the thing: I'm just looking for any, and let me reiterate the word any. I'm looking for any wide receiver to take a step forward and be that guy. And he doesn't have to be that guy this year, but just the future of that guy. I'm looking for, and it could be Kelly. It could be what's the guy from Tennessee? I can never think of his name, but you know the one I'm talking about. But yeah, I'm just looking for any wide receiver to take that big step. And I'm talking about the young ones. I'm not talking about the already established.
Yeah. So for me, I think I agree with you on that. I'm looking more from the wide receiver room. I want to see what Tillman can do. You know, I mean, I think Tillman needs to take a big step, you know, forward this year in the wide receiver room. But I also want to see Elijah Moore get more touches. I think, you know, we brought him over for a reason. So I definitely want to see them get some more snaps.
Right. Okay.
So Ray, Ray, you know, tell us a little, you know, I always love to do this because, you know, I like to update people where you're at, what you've been doing. Tell us a little bit what you've been up to recently and what you, how many awards have you won? I'm just kidding.
No. The car show thing. Hey, I just love doing the car show. But we have been planning this event for a while, and I finally went to Mission Barbecue and got them to agree to it. Yeah, we're going to do a super fan tailgate, super fan car show, and super fan Olympics all rolled into one. May 7th. 10 o'clock, 10 to 3. And it also benefits none other, the greatest player in Northeastern Ohio era, Mr. Bernie Kosar. But
Yes.
Please keep in mind, this is not a Bernie Kosar signing. He's not going to even be there. This is an event to raise, whether it's his morale, raise money, whatever, for him and his
Yeah. So Ray, real quick, our friends over at City Barbecue. If you haven't had City Barbecue, you're doing it wrong, guys. It's in 7 Northeast Ohio locations. They are a great partner of ours. If you have banquet needs, if you have just want to take your friends there for the weekend, 7 Northeast Ohio locations, guys. City Barbecue. We're actually going to have a prize package out there very soon, going over all those wonderful things that you can win, including barbecue sauce, gift cards to City Barbecue, so you can take your family there. But they're party packs, by the way. You know, football season is going to be right around the corner. So, man, get some of those party packs from City Barbecue to take care of the family or anybody that's coming over for the big games. Barbecue is going to be a great time. We're having a good time here. They're making all kinds of noise. And by the way, guys, if you're going to, I was going to let you know next Wednesday, we are going to be at Western Reserve Distillers, guys. So we were there a couple weeks ago. Ray, I think you were supposed to show up, but something happened. You got your days mixed up, but you were going to show up at Western Reserve Distillers. Anyway, long story short, Ray, we're going to be there next Wednesday. We may or may not have a guest in person to actually do the show. But what's really cool, Ray, is we're going to do a whiskey sampling of the new Here We Go Brownies, whiskey, by the way. That's going to be a fun thing. We're going to do a flight of that for next Wednesday. So we're going to do that. That's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to do that and all those amazing things. But that'll be next Wednesday. We're going to do that out there at Western Reserve Distillers. And by the way, they're located in Lakewood, Ohio. So look for more information on those guys coming up. And Ray, you know, let's talk a little bit more about your predictions on the season. there's a lot of expectation. I guess there's not and yes on expectations for this football team. For whatever reason, we're kind of out of the limelight this year, which I'm okay with that. But give me some thoughts on where you feel like this team's going. I feel like the defense, it's weird for me to say could be better. I mean, they were the first-ranked defense in the National Football League. I do feel like they do have a chip on their shoulder, but I'm just curious. What's your thoughts on this defense and this team? For me, it all starts and begins with Deshaun Watson. If Deshaun Watson has a great year, this football team is going to have a great year. But I'm just curious what your thoughts are on that in general.
Well, hey, 12-5 is my prediction.
12-5. Okay, that's a big number.
And but that's contingent on us staying relatively healthy. And here's the thing. All teams have to suffer through injuries. I get that. But for whatever reason, it just seemed like we just had a rat. It's like all of a sudden we lost the whole offensive line. Then we couldn't keep a quarterback on the field. Then so stay healthy, we'll be fine. That's my prediction.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing with any NFL team, right? I mean, that's the
Right.
truth. I mean, you can
no, because you could be a bad team and healthy and still not be good.
Well, so let me ask you this, Ray. So, I mean, you bring up a good point. Look at teams like the Ravens in the past, decimated with injuries, and then continually be consistently a decent team. Do you think it is more conducive on the position of the player, like quarterback, right? Obviously, if your quarterback goes down, that's huge. But some of these teams, even with the big injuries that they've had, they've been able to avoid, that kind of like drop off. I mean,
right.
And then other teams, they do go winners. They have injuries, right? Well, they've been decimated with injuries, and they made the Super Bowl this year. So what? I guess it is a kind of a curiosity question. What makes that difference in your opinion? Where a team like that has a lot of injuries all of a sudden just can't keep it together, and then other teams can. Well, what's your thought on that? I'm just curious.
Well, first and foremost, your GM has to keep your practice squad stocked, your secondary players stocked, so that because it's always next man up. So right. when somebody goes down, if you don't have a quality person, then you're not going to be that good of a team. The good teams always make it through injuries. The good teams,
right? Well, they have adversity, right? They have that adversity, and they can get past it. By the way, I know you're a big fan of this, but guys, if you don't have Here We Go Brownies wine in your fridge, or you haven't tried Lorello Vineyards, you've got to try some, guys. They recently ran out. There's the bottle, but guess what? They now have it back in stock. That's right. Here We Go Brownies wine, and a portion of each of those bottles, guys, goes to the Greater Cleveland Food Bank here in Northeast Ohio. So we love that a portion of the proceeds from the sale of our Here We Go Brownies wine actually goes back to the community here in Northeast Ohio, where it's so well needed and so well deserved for the people that need that. But if you ever get a chance, go out to Lorello Vineyards. They're out there in Geneva, along with the other wineries. Take a weekend out there, enjoy it, and have fun out there, and just partake in Lorello Vineyards and those other vineyards. It's a great time. We've been out there, Ray. It's great, right? You can go out there, partake in that. They have great food there and all kinds of things. And, if Larry's there, you might, be comic relief. If Larry's there, you'll get a good laugh. So, Ray, our hour is up and we went over. How about that?
And we started early.
First one
in, last one out.
Yeah. By the way, guys, thank you to Walter Beach, the 1964 NFL champion, coming on the show tonight. I thought we got some great nuggets out of that. I always say when we have these legends come on, Ray, we get something out of them that you don't know what you're going to get, and then you get it. So I think there's going to be some great nuggets from his interview. And
don't forget, wait, hold up. Don't forget.
Yes.
The man is 91 years old.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I was about to say, the fact that he's, so cognizant and so well versed at the age of 91. Tells me he's taken care of himself mentally and physically into his later years. So God bless him for that. God bless him for his service to our country as well. And of course, thank you for Chase and Walt, the fighters that are going to be on the bout this Saturday down at Jacobs Pavilion. We're going to give away 4 tickets, by the way, guys, to that. So look on social media. We'll have some tickets for that to give away. But guys, with that, we're going to sign off. Ray, it's been a pleasure.
Don't forget, May 7th.
Yeah, don't forget about that. Ray and I will be at that event. It'll be great for a fundraiser for Bernie. That's going to be awesome. So
and don't forget this Sunday.
What's that?
Lake County Captain. I said, don't forget this Sunday, Lake County Captains.
That's right, guys. Lake County Captains this weekend. Frank Menefield and Top Dog Hanford Dixon will be there, along with myself, throwing out the first pitch at the captain. So this would be an interesting thing. But by the way, guys, come out. It's going to be a lot of fun. They are celebrating the 60th anniversary of the Browns. So how intuitive that we had Mr. Walter Beach on tonight to talk about all things 1964. And by the way, I think that is probably one of the better stories that I've heard, Ray, how he literally got up, walked over, had a little conversation. 45 minutes later, guess what?
Well, hey, I had heard that story for forever. So when I finally was in the company of Mr. Jim Brown, I asked him about that story, and he confirmed it. But in journalism, you always have to have 2 confirmations. So I had talked to Mr. Beach when I got him on the phone. Right. He confirmed it, so it happened.
All right. Well, with that, Ray, let's sign off. Have a great night, Ray. I'll see you soon, and go Browns.
See you when I see you.